Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Before we start, remember to follow us on all our social media networks, Facebook, Twitter and Google+, and catch us daily by logging on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. After just 3 days in operation, a new gas station in Tlaxcala, Mexico, selling an ethanol blend had to shut down temporarily due to the popularity of its prices. Adolfo Fernandez, owner of the first Oxifuel gas station in the state, is offering the alternative fuel a 50-50 mix of normal gasoline and sugarcane ethanol at just 13 pesos per litre. Once the ethanol is combined with gasoline, the octane rating of Oxifuel's product is pared down to between 95 and 97 and can power normal engines with the added benefit of reducing emissions. Fernandez explained that the biofuel doesn't harm engines and that with the market still reeling after last week's big price hike, its popularity among consumers is booming. People accepted ethanol. In just 3 days, I ran out and I'm waiting for a new shipment in the coming days, Fernandez said, observing that Pemex stations in the area were selling premium for more than 17 pesos a litre. Oxifuel operates 57 stations in the states of Veracruz, Oaxaca, Puebla, Morelos, Mexico City, Hidalgo, and Tlaxcala. In other news, Volkswagen has agreed a draft $4.3 billion settlement with US authorities over the emissions rigging scandal. The German car maker also said it would plead guilty to breaking certain US laws. Volkswagen said it was in advanced discussions with the Department of Justice and US Customs about the deal. Volkswagen said it had negotiated a concrete draft of a settlement with US authorities that included criminal and civil fines totaling $4.3 billion, as well as appointing an independent monitor for the next 3 years. The fine means that the total costs associated with the emissions cheating scandal are set to now exceed the $19.2 billion that the company set aside to deal with the issue. As you remember, the scandal erupted in September 2015, when the US Environmental Protection Agency found that many Volkswagen cars sold in America had a defeat device or software in diesel engines that could detect when they were being tested and adjust the performance accordingly to improve results. The German car giant subsequently admitted cheating emissions tests in the US and many countries throughout the world, including Mexico. Earlier this week, it emerged that Volkswagen executives knew about those emissions cheatings 2 months before the scandal broke, but chose not to tell US regulators, according to court papers. The bosses involved include Oliver Schmidt, who was in charge of Volkswagen's US Environmental Regulatory Compliance Office from 2012 until March of 2015. He was charged on Monday with conspiracy to defraud and has been remanded ahead of a court appearance today. In other headlines, PetStar is launching a revised sustainable business model as it aims to consolidate its position as the world's leading food-grade pet recycler. Founded in 2006, the Mexican company's goal is to recover and recycle all PET bottles by 2020 and thus achieve zero waste. Currently, we're collecting 70% of the bottles sent to market, company founder and CEO Jaime Cámara Kreisel said in a December 20th interview. We've yet to get to 100%, but that is our aim. PetStar uses wind-generated electricity at its sophisticated recycling plant on the outskirts of Toluca in Mexico, and it's aiming for neutral carbon and water footprints by 2020. The facility, some 40 miles west of Mexico City, can recycle up to 130 million pounds of PET a year, which is enough to fill the Azteca football stadium twice over. 1,000 workers are employed at the plant, in addition to 25,000 indirect employees, such as pepenadores, nationwide. The consumption of products is constantly growing in Mexico. Each Mexican produces an average of 311 kilograms of urban solid waste per year, of which only 39.7% is likely to be harvested, according to the National Institute of Statistics and Geography. Additional investment from Coca-Cola made it possible to double the plant's capacity, and in July 2014, the plant was re-inaugurated, becoming the world's largest food-grade PET recycler. And finally, let's turn to the markets. The Mexican peso decreased again 1.11% to 21.61 from 21.85 in the previous trading session. Historically, the Mexican peso reached an all-time high of 21.89 in January of 2017 and a record low of 0.01 in May of 1972. IPC Mexico increased 0.1% to 45,934 from 45,886 in the previous trading session. Historically, the Mexico stock market IPC index reached an all-time high of 48,694.9 in August of 2016 and a record low of 14,008.2 in August of 2005. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Before we go, remember to check out our social media networks and stay logged on at mexiconewsnetwork.com for more relevant stories about Mexico and the world. Until next time.